Ahanu, and wild honey. Suddenly, Ahanu froze. A familiar buzzing sound was heard in the silence of the woods. He raised his head and peered into the branches of a sprawling old oak. There, in a deep hollow, bustled a real living fortress, a nest of wild bees. There was a distinct aroma of sweet, sticky honey in the air. Ahanu smiled. Wild bee honey was a rare delicacy and the most valuable gift for a weakened body. But no one could just approach the wild swarm. He had to act deftly and quickly. At first, Ahanu decided to relax the vigilance of the winged guards. Wild bees fiercely defend their home, but they are united by an ancient fear and a forest fire. Here we put on a dry, fluffy head of cattail. Its velvety texture was perfect for smoldering slowly for a long time without bursting into an open flame. The nest was quite high up. That's where the freshly tied cattail rope came in handy. It turned out to be surprisingly durable. Using a flint and a knife, he struck a spark, built a tiny fire, and set fire to the top of the cattail. The cattail began to smoke. Holding this natural torch in front of him, Ahanu headed for the hollow. The secret of the honey hunter: when the bees felt the thick smoke from the cattails, they decided that the forest was on fire. Instead of attacking the Indian, they rushed inside the nest to save their supplies and hungrily attack the honey. This made them heavy, sleepy, and completely non-aggressive. Ahanu deftly threw one end of the rope over a thick branch, pulled himself up, and climbed a tree. After securing the smoking cattail right at the entrance to the hollow, he was completely safe. Inside, bees buzzed quietly and drunkenly. Taking out a knife, Ahanu carefully cut off the heavy amber honeycombs dripping with liquid gold. He carefully placed the even plates of wild honey in his pot. The smell was incredible. The scent of wild herbs, sunlight, and tree resin. The main healing properties of honeycombs respiratory tract treatment. Prolonged chewing of honeycombs helps with bronchitis, sore throat, cough, and runny nose, as the released essential oils and propolis disinfect the nasopharynx. Oral care. The product strengthens the gums, cleanses the teeth of plaque, and helps in the treatment of stomatitis and periodontal diseases. Immune support. Honeycombs contain more than 300 beneficial components that enhance the body's natural defenses during the cold season. Cleansing the digestive system. During chewing, tiny wax particles act as a natural sorbent in the intestine, binding and removing toxins. Now he wasn't returning home empty-handed. The smoky torch was left burning out on the tree. The bees will soon recover and start building new combs. Meanwhile, Ahanu was anticipating how happy the village would be to see him back, because tonight's tea by the campfire would be unusually sweet. The way home. The power of the earth. Ahanu's wounds had nearly healed thanks to the medicinal compresses, but a new trial lay ahead. A roaring, turbulent river barred the way to his native valley, where his tribe awaited him. Swimming across was madness. He needed a reliable watercraft. Ahanu set to work. He gathered massive armfuls of dry reeds and bulrushes, then bound them into tight, dense bundles using flexible willow branches. Along the way, he stripped off some willow bark and habitually tossed it into his mouth. The bitter juice, rich in natural salicylic acid, quickly dulled the lingering pain in his injured leg. With skillful movements passed down by the craftsmen of the Chumash tribe, he shaped the reed bundles into a light yet stable canoe. Shelter in the underbrush. The river was secured, but the sun was already dipping below the horizon. Setting out so close to nightfall meant certain doom. Ahanu decided to spend the night on the riverbank to regain his strength before the final push. He needed fire, strong tea, and rest. To protect himself from biting midges and throw predators off his scent in the darkness, Ahanu ventured deeper into the underbrush. Finding a patch of yarrow and wild mint, He vigorously rubbed the coarse leaves between his palms and thickly slathered his entire body, face, and hair with the juice. The sharp, potent aroma of menthol and herbal bitterness instantly drove away the persistent insects. To soothe the itch of the bites he had already received, he carefully applied the healing sap of celandine. Survival secret. In the wilderness, a water mug can be fashioned from whatever lies right beneath your feet. The main things you need are a knife and a little patience. Ahanu found the perfect material: birch bark. Flexible, easy to work with, and completely waterproof, it allowed him to construct a handy scoop in literally 5 minutes without using a single drop of glue. The Taiga Elixir. Soon a campfire crackled merrily in the camp. Ahanu filled the birch bark cup with water and placed it directly into the flames. The wood did not burn. The physics of nature reliably protected the birch bark as long as there was liquid inside. Into the boiling water went a unique herbal blend: burdock and dandelion roots. Ahanu chopped them finely, creating a bitter, yet incredibly nutritious and blood-purifying broth. Pine needles. A handful of fresh needles infused the decoction with a powerhouse dose of vitamin C to boost his immune system. At the very last moment, he stirred a bit of wild honey into the cup. The slightly bitter tea, smelling of smoke and pine, turned out to be wonderfully flavorful, natural, and invigorating. Every moment of that night restored Ahanu's strength. Tomorrow at dawn, his journey home awaited him.